Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and I hope you are all having a great day. It is getting chilly here. It's going to get chillier and chillier as this week goes on. I think around Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we're planning on having highs at 7. 7 degrees is a high, 3 is a low. Still not hitting those negatives, surprisingly, as a low, but yeah, it's getting chilly. I have my little heater on. I'm going to actually face that more toward me now that I moved a little bit here. Hello, Suzanne, AG Bead fam out there. Hope you're all doing great. I have a Facebook user out there. Hello, thank you for joining in. It is 26 degrees and I'm a little bit chilly. It's really strange here. I guess it's not that strange. As soon as about 3:30 in the afternoon hits, 3:30 to 4, I could be sitting here all day in the store doing things, and at 3:30 to 4 o'clock, you feel this chill come into the air. And then I turn my heater on beside me. We have a little extra space heater for when it gets really chilly back here. Behind us, there's a hallway, which is not well heated. And then there is a back room, which is up for rent. If anybody local is looking for a place to rent, there is a place back there. This is for business. It's not an apartment. There's also a place upstairs available for rent. So there's things in this building. If you're local to us and you would like to rent somewhere in Ligonier to start a store or do something like that, or an office space, there are 2 available in this building right now. And excuse me, the heat is not really turned on back there very much either. So that cold air gets sucked into our part of the store. It gets chilly. The sun goes down and it immediately, you can tell, as soon as I start seeing it getting a little bit darker outside, even if it's cloudy, it's amazing the difference. I was sitting here and at 3:30 today, I looked at the clock, I'm like, yep, exactly 3:30. As these days get shorter, that's creeping back. It used to be 4, I was safe until. Let's see, who else is with us here today? Vanessa is with us. Thank you for joining in. Carmen is here with us. Thank you. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Marianne. This is minus 15 here today. Oh my goodness. Minus 15. That's getting cold. That's getting cold. Yikes. I don't want that weather yet. Hello, Norma. Thank you for joining in. Donna is with us. Hello. Thank you for joining. Sandra says, hello, hello. Needed a reprieve from work. Good, right? Sometimes you do. Sometimes you need a little break. And we're happy to give you that break. So hopefully you will enjoy this show. I am doing William's favorites today. And I have a lot of favorites, y'all. And when I do these, I try to not pick the same favorites that I've picked before. I know sometimes I do, and that's okay because there are new people who always tune in here and there. But I try to pick different things for y'all. And it's a good thing I have a lot of favorites. But I try to pick things that there are kind of, these are down to onesie, twosies type of things. Because I think, I don't know. There's something about when something hangs on for so long, and I'm like, why? Why is it hanging on for so long? So, yeah, I don't know. So I tried to do that. So a lot of these strands, there's only 1 or 2 of. Now, some of them, there are many more. But that's not all gemstone strands either. We have some gemstone strands. I have some rings. I have some kind of home goods. I have checked glass. I have different things, some jewelry. So I wanted to pick a few different things to show you today. Let's see here. Who else is out here? Donna says, it's going to be in the teens here after Thursday. Wind chills in the single digits. We're going to be in the single digits without wind chills. That's crazy. But that's also December. So I am surprised we're not going down into the negative. But I think on Christmas Day, it's supposed to be 3 degrees to 7 degrees here. My family is doing a Christmas lunch around 1 instead of dinner because at least the sun will still be out a little bit. And it won't be probably as cold or dangerous driving during the day. So I'll be going to that and taking the kids their toys and things. We'll see if we can get Andrew out of the house or not. When it gets that cold, it's a toss-up whether Andrew's going to leave or not. We're also preparing a ton of stuff, y'all. We're working on some year-end things. I'm going to just check my messages here. Yeah, so we have plans. Andrew and I are sitting down in the evenings and talking about things and what we're planning to do. We're looking at an end of year kind of thing that we're going to do, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. I'm not going to let the cat out of that bag yet, but I think it's going to be fun. I hope you enjoy it. We also have Bead in the New Year. Let me reach across here. Bead in the New Year. Do you have your calendars, everybody? Bead in the New Year. We're going to be beading in the new year. We're going to be, this is a calendar full of prompts. Make a pair of earrings, for example, or use pewter spacers in an interesting way. Create with an allegory gallery inspiration kit. Create a monochromatic design. One of you all suggested that here, and we used that. Use a Green Girl Studios piece in your design. So there's a whole list of things for January in Beat in the New Year, and that's to try to get your creativity flowing. You know, sometimes when it gets cold, especially us in the winter right now. I know some places, if you're out there, you might be in the summertime right now, but we're in the winter. And sometimes the winter is a little bit slow and a little bit hard to get your, creative juices flowing because you're trapped inside maybe, or it's so gray out. So we try to bring in the new year with January full of prompts and things for you to do. We've done this a number of years. Over the pandemic, we kind of slowed down on doing it a little bit, and we've had some, personal things with our little fur babies passing away here that has kept us from it. Just wasn't in the mood for it. But this year we're back to it. We're doing it again. And we hope that it'll help jumpstart your creativity. If you go to allegorygallery.com, I'll put that up right now, allegorygallery.com. And if you go there, you can go to our blog, hit the blog tab, and there is a blog post that has this calendar as a downloadable PDF. So you can download it. And what is also hopefully helpful is that any prompt that you don't have the materials for, if we supply them, there's a link on that PDF. So you can click on that, tap it or click it, depending on what you're using, mobile device or your computer. Tap or click on the links. You just click on the words. You won't see the links, but they're there. So if you tap or click on them, they will take you to our website and bring up the list of things that you can purchase from us if you'd like to. We hope you'll continue to support us in that way throughout the winter months after these holidays. I mean, it's already started. It gets very difficult to have a small business like ours in the winter. Very few people come out to classes, very few people come out shopping. So we rely on all of you out there on these things that we do. Hopefully they're fun for you. And if you get something from them, hopefully you'll continue to support us so that we can continue to do these things with you. We have the TGBE mystery kit, which isn't such a mystery anymore because it is an African-inspired, we haven't shown it yet, but it is an African-inspired kit. African beads, African-inspired beads. We plan to do every month in 2023. We're going to release a new global expedition kit, and it's going to take us somewhere else in the world. So January 2023, we've paired this up being the same thing. It's our global expedition kit number 1, going to Africa. It's also going to be the TGBE kit that we work with for the Great Bead Extravaganza Midwinter Market. So if you haven't gotten that yet, grab it in the online store. That's at allegorygallery.com, right here again. I think it's right near the top of the homepage. It should hopefully still be there, as long as it's not sold out. And we will be shipping those soon. We're still working on them. We want to make them good. We want to make them, we want to put as much into them as we can for the price. And we always like to give you more value than than really sometimes than the cost of the items. So we're going to try and make those really nice for you. Andrew's doing a great job of getting those together, and they're looking really good. So please, if you haven't gotten one of those and you are going to be joining us for the TGBE, please get them soon so we can make sure we get them shipped out to you in time. Let's see here. Suzanne says we'll have a low of 8 Friday. Yeah, see, it's getting there. Marianne says it sounds worse in Celsius, -26. I was going to say that in Celsius sounds really bad, right? I always wonder when people say that from Canada whether they're talking about Celsius or Fahrenheit. But I know that Marianne, you usually give us to us in Fahrenheit, so we know. Hello, Barbara. Thank you for tuning in with us today. Let's see here. Suzanne says, I have to leave around 5 as I have a class to teach. Well, have fun teaching the class. Hopefully we'll get to some things before that, but if not, that's my reminder to be able to tell everyone you can watch all of our videos in a rewatch anytime. You can watch on YouTube, and you can also watch on Facebook. So if you go into YouTube, you can go, actually both places. I got to work on them playlists for Facebook. I've fallen a little behind on there, but on YouTube, these are all listed under the Live at 5 playlist, or just go to the Live tab and you'll see them in the order that we've played them. So if you do miss something, and you need to replay it, go ahead. YouTube's an easy place to do that, and you can see them right there. Let's see here. Vanessa says, it's getting cold here in Dallas too over the weekend, in the single digits, cold for Dallas. On a side note, I was so happy with my last order, such quality. Thank you. I'm glad that you liked it. We do pride ourselves on having, very good quality. Most everything that we pick out is hand picked out. We pick it out by hand, or we have trusted vendors who know what we like, who know our style, and we trust them to pick things out and send them to us. We still go over every single thing. We are not a huge store where we bring in mountains and mountains of stuff and just load it up on the online store and sell it out the door. We touch and we see every single strand that comes in, every single thing. We inspect it for quality. So I'm glad you liked it. We do pride ourselves on that. And when you order from us, we want you to be happy. We want you to feel like you're getting more than what you paid for. That's always, we try to over deliver, and we hope that we're doing that for all of you out there. Hello, Facebook user says, hi, William. I don't know who you are, but hello. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Doesn't matter if I know who you are or not. We're so very thankful that any of you choose to stay here and hang out with us for these lives and, just everything that we do. It's amazing to know that there are, we have 8,000 some followers on Facebook. It's amazing to know that as a small business, we've been able to do that. And we've in some way made 8,000 some people happy enough that they want to follow us. That's not an easy thing to do. There are many stores here in town who don't have those kind of numbers. I think in our town, we are one of the highest, if not the highest, followed store. And, that's because we reach out so much, I think, to all of you out there. But also, we like to think that we're hopefully making everyone happy. And, giving you things that you like and that you enjoy, and programming. And that's the other thing, is it's not just all about, I heard a ching ching, thank you, whoever just purchased. I like that sound a lot. Haven't been hearing it enough lately, honestly. It's been slow. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to talking about programming, being a small business, we could just sit here and sell stuff to you. It could be all about that. And many businesses do. And that's a function of a business, is to sell things. So I can't fault anybody for doing that. But we like to do things, that don't necessarily include any selling a lot of times. For example, we're going to get our book club back up and running. It's been a while, but that was something that we started out. And we don't make a lot of money off of the book club. We read one book a month, and anybody in the book club reads that same book, and then we make things inspired by that book. We hope that you will decide to purchase some things from us when you make stuff, but the biggest point of that is community. It's an online book club, but it's also an in-person book club. So we have meetings in the store, and we have meetings, we're going to have meetings online when we restart this. So it's things like that. And Beat in the New Year. You can completely do Beat in the New Year. This took us, people think that doing stuff like this is easy. This literally took me probably 6 to 8 hours just to create this. And I know that sounds like, you're like, what? But not only do we have to come up with the prompts, and we've had some prompts in the past, so I was able to pull from some of those, but just designing the calendar, making the links, attaching things to it, finalizing what we were actually going to do, publishing it, writing the blog post about it, sending out an email about it, sending out a text message about it, that took pretty much one work day to get that together, and actually probably a little longer, because if you really count the time that Andrew and I spent discussing it and whether we were actually going to do it again this year or not. And you can do this. Everybody could possibly do this without spending any money with us at all. But it's something we still put out there for you. It's the same as, we did our podcast. The podcast has been on hold for quite a while. I like to do the podcast in person, and I know I have to get over that. I like to go and visit people or have people visit us and do the podcast and interview in person. But I know that that's not a thing that is possible all the time. So I have to get over that, and we might resume that. I'm still thinking about that. But the podcast was completely something that we did that really had no direct tie to any type of shopping or purchasing from us. A lot of times we would point people to the people we were interviewing and to go to their websites and buy from them. And we don't charge anybody to be on the podcast. We really don't make any money off of that. But it was something that was fun. It was something that we thought people would enjoy. Now, I don't know if many of you have watched or listened to I can't watch it, if you've listened to our podcast at all or not. But I think there's still some really good interviews. And even though a lot of them are years old now, it's still very interesting to see thought processes and other artisan makers and what they go through. So it's things like that. It's the programming that we bring to you that, it's not all about selling. And that's what we try to do. We try to provide you value for your money, whether you're spending it or not. I mean, you could follow us and not spend anything. I hope you will. I hope you will find things that you like and that you want to purchase. But we try, it's those people who do purchase from us, and most of you out there watching right now, I see the names, are hardcore supporters and do purchase from us. But it's that money coming in that helps us do these other things. If we were so bare bones that we couldn't, we would have to cut all that out, and that would be kind of sad, because that's not what we're built upon. Community is a big part of what Allegory Gallery, what we decided to build Allegory Gallery upon when we started it in 2011. There was always a community component to that. So yeah, we're working on a new art exhibition. We're going to do an art show. I think Andrew's planning it hopefully for February. He's put out some calls to some people and things. And if you're interested in that, it's going to focus, I think, on crows and ravens. So if you're interested, if you're a painter, or you draw or you make art, you can get in touch with Andrew on his Facebook page or email us. Really, that's the easiest way. Email us if you're interested, and I can pass that along to Andrew. But yeah, we're going to do an art opening again. It's been a long time. We've not actually done one, I think, in this space. It's been 3 some years. So there we go. Let's see here. What else is going on? Oh, I'm behind. I'm way behind in comments. So let me see here. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind. Okay. Andrew says, stay safe out there, everyone. Donna says, printed mine out. Good. Thank you, Donna. Print that calendar out. Get ready. Andrew says, they're really fun. I know it's a big commitment, but it has helped me start off the new year off right. Start the new year off on a good foot, right? I think so. Sandra says, I love that idea. Bring in the sunshine. Teresa says, I purchased that kit. Thank you so much. Andrew says, I see Courtney Powell's watching. Do you want to do a pin ornament swap since you didn't get to go to the meetup? He's asking. I can't see her watching, so it must be, Facebook must be telling him. So Courtney, let me know if you didn't see that comment from Andrew. Donna says, there is a possibility I will get to go to Tucson with a friend of mine. Hopefully that will work out. Andrew's planning on it. We're going to try and go. We better get there. We're in a show. Let's see here. Andrew's planning on having the kits shipping out on Wednesday. That's the plan. So hopefully that works out. Andrew says, or Cynthia helps pick it. I don't know what that's about. Sorry, I missed that in my talk. Just trying to scroll through. Another Facebook user. Don't know who you are, but hello. Thank you for joining in. Andrew says, yeah, I have a box of stuff that's not up to AG standards, and I don't really know what to do with it. Yeah, sometimes things come in, and they are not up to our standards to sell to you all. So they get put in a box sometimes, and we have some of that stuff around. So you never know. You never know. Andrew says, dump it in resin, make coasters or something. Could. Sometimes things come in and they're not up to, there's broken things on a strand, or sometimes we'll take them off the strand and put them in the treasure box for kids. Even adults like the treasure box. It's mainly made for kids is what our thought was, but it is for adults as well. So we have a treasure box here in store that if a strand's broken and it's, too much trouble to string back up, or there are some broken beads on it, we'll take those off and put the rest in the treasure box. Donna had just ordered one of the TGBE kits. Thank you so much. That must have been you coming up on the ching ching. Andrew said there was a really nice post by a guy named Ryan Zinkum in one of our local groups promoting small businesses in town. And he named us, which was very sweet. But it really, Andrew said, it made my heart happy. Yeah, it's, it's good. It's good to see your neighbors liking you. We get so many people in town who live in town and they say they've never visited the shops in town. We hear that a lot. Or, we've been in town since 2011, so 11 years. And there are people who come in and say, oh yeah, I'm from town. When did you move in? 11 years ago. And they're like, oh. So it makes them realize that they haven't visited. And we have some people who visit all the time and come in all the time. And Ryan is one of those that help us out and come in and really, share the love. So it's always good to hear that. Always good to see that. Donna says, I'm so excited about the book club. Thank you so much. I hope everyone's going to take part and enjoy it. It's really a lot of fun, actually. Sandra says, how do you find the book club? The book club, you can go to, if you go to allegorygallery.com, there's a clubs and groups tab on our website. I know a lot of people miss that, but there's a tab on there, clubs and groups, and you can get to the Facebook group by that link, or you can just go to Inspired by Reading Book Club on Facebook. Teresa says, can't wait to be part of the book club. Thank you. Teresa says, I love the podcast. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. I would really like to continue doing them, but we're so busy with things that, we're spinning our wheels trying to make money and make sure we survive the winter. This is like a yearly thing. It's just one of the, we try and prepare as best as we can, but every year, something comes up or we have to deal with things. So winter's hard. So maybe in the spring, we'll see if I get the podcast started again. There are a lot of people doing podcasts now, and we were doing it when not a lot of bead stores or beady people were doing it, and a lot more have started doing it now. And so I don't know. I have to see. But I thank you. I'm glad you love them, Teresa. Andrew says, we have had people do it and not purchase things from the shop. It's okay. We understand if you want to utilize your stash or if it's not in your budget. But it is a nice way to tip us if you like the programming. Yeah. we do a lot of stuff. And some of that stuff, like the podcast, we've had to cut back on because it takes time and we don't have the money to forward to that time. So it is things like that. If you want to see more of those things, the more you support us monetarily and buy things from us, the more we can do. And the more we will do, because that's just who we are. But, we understand when people can't. Right now, we can't do a lot, and we can't do a lot of supporting as much as we would like to. So it's just the way it is. We get it. We totally get it. Oh, it jumped again. Let's see. Somebody's joining us. Hello from North Carolina. Thank you for tuning in. Not sure who you are, but thank you. We appreciate that. If you want to, if you go to the video description and you hit the StreamYard link, there's a link to allow us to see who you are. Like right now, I can just see that you're on Facebook, but we appreciate you watching no matter what. Donna says, I'll let you know if we're going because I would love to meet y'all. I won't be there, unfortunately, but Cynthia and Andrew are planning to be there. Hello, Bonnie. Thank you for tuning in. Andrew says, we buy out collections sometimes, and there are things that are just meh or just cheapy. So I just shuffle the box around, right? You go in a box. They go in a box. Marion says, when will we find out what books we will be reading? We're probably going to release that at the, the height of the new year here in January. We're still deciding. We're trying to pull people, but they're not wanting to answer. So we only have a few requests that people, or a few suggestions that people are putting up. So Andrew's going to be doing a lot of the picking, I think. Andrew's going to be doing a lot of the picking. Andrew said, we had a lot of stuff come up. We do. And Andrew says, it's kind of like public radio. Love it or lose it. And that's the way it is. You have to support your small businesses, your small bead stores. I know we talk about this a lot, and all of you watching pretty much know this and do it. But yeah, you have to support the things you love or they will go away. That's all there is to it. I used to kind of be, we could never close the store. We could, but reality sets in at some point and you realize that if you needed to make that decision, it's better than going into bankruptcy or something, right? And losing everything. So you need to support what you love. And that's what we try to do. We have stores in town that we go to all the time and we love to support too. Andrew says, we always find ways to support people. We can't always do as much as we'd like, but we find ways. Yeah, I mean, we have certain things that we support monthly. They're just auto-deducted. We've set it up that way. We are always supporting somebody and some things. But some years we can do more and some years we can do less. This is a less year this year. It's been a rough one. But there are still places that we donate to every month. And so, yeah, it's good when you can do it. Bonnie says, looks like a snow globe here in Minnesota. I bet it does. I bet it does. Andrew said, I just saw that we finished up helping 60 Kiva microloans. That's awesome. Andrew has been very good about donating to Kiva. And if you don't know what that is, it is a microloaning platform where you can send loans or help with loans to people in other countries. So sometimes there are women-owned businesses that can't get funds in their own country, or places that they want to start a business but they don't have the money. And you can, through Kiva, you can donate small amounts of money. It's amazing how small some of the amounts are that are able to affect someone's life, especially in other countries. So Kiva is a great thing to do. We've always loved doing it. Andrew does most of the choosing on it. I used to donate to it back before we had the store. When we started the store, it was something that Andrew kind of took over, and that's every year we pick various organizations and various people to donate to. And Andrew says they do loans in the U.S. too. They do, but it's amazing to see the small amounts of money that you can give to somebody that can really help their life. And I mean, we know that. I mean, we don't have a huge, our store doesn't make tons of money. We're not like millionaires, not anywhere close to it. there are probably people who watch this that make more than us in a year. But it's one of those things that, we're doing this to be a small business. We're doing this to foster community and really do beautiful things, hopefully, and bring beauty to the world and your world. Sandra says, amen. That is true. You have to support small business or it will go away. It will. And being in a small business town, we're very lucky to be in Ligonier, which is, made up of small businesses around a beautiful, what we call the Diamond, which is the center of town. It's a roundabout in town. And there are beautiful stores all, on every block for about 2 or 3 blocks every direction. And even more than that, kind of sprinkled through town. But it's beautiful to be part of this, but it's also eye-opening. The number of stores that have started and ended because they couldn't make it is over the last 11 years. We've watched so many businesses come and go, and it's always sad. It's always sad to see someone, because you see them, like, we always try to go in and welcome them. And sometimes we do a around town video with them, which is another thing we don't get anything for, that we provide to help the other merchants in town and show you all part of our town. So sometimes we do videos like that. We welcome them. And it's always, they have such energy to begin with. There's so much energy and so much, love being poured into their shop. And then when they have to close, it's so sad. It's so sad. So we have seen that, and you do have to support things like that and things like us, businesses like us, if you want us to continue. Andrew says, we usually take a small percentage of our profits and pay it forward in Kiva loans. Yeah, that's how we do it. Bonnie says, my local coffee shop just fired the bakers because they can't afford to keep that going. We always have bought our sweets there. It's sad. They make everything from scratch. I didn't know if it will keep going with no sweets. It's really sad, right? It's really sad. And I don't want to turn this into a sad video, but the importance of, consistently purchasing and consistently being there for businesses is really important. It's great when we have, these giants, purchases from someone. But then we may not see them again for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. And so when you can be consistent and when you can, purchase a little bit throughout the weeks or throughout the months here and there, and it really helps. It really helps the bottom line. I always say we have 8,000 some followers. If everyone bought something for like $1 or $2 after our cost, it would make everything a lot easier. It would make, if we had that, I would love to set up a thing where you could have a subscription and you could just subscribe to us for $1 a month. And if everyone that followed us on Facebook subscribed, gave us $1 every month, you don't even know the kinds of things we could do. In addition to our normal sales, the kinds of things that we could do would be astounding. So I always think about that. It doesn't always take much, but consistency is really what's important. Andrew says, I try to find people who are makers, and particularly people involved in jewelry for the Kiva loans. Yeah. Andrew says, thousandaires. Yeah, that's like what we are. We're not millionaires. We're like thousandaires. Hello, Amanda. Thanks for joining in. Andrew says, it's disheartening. It's disheartening to see a dream that doesn't survive. But I'd like to think that even if people can't keep things going, at least they learned something and will always be part of a community. That's what you hope. That's what you hope. But, seeing dreams fall apart is so hard. It's really hard, especially when you know that people have poured everything into it. I mean, everything we have is poured into this business. There's not a single thing that, isn't tied to it in some way. I mean, we live off of it, so that's obviously, it's tied to it. Let's see here. Donna says, me and this dang iPad. If y'all just heard me scream, I just got my TGBE kit. Oh, TGBE swag bag. Okay, nice, nice. Teresa says, isn't that like your Patreon? It is. The Patreon is for Star Cottage Studios specifically, though. And we have very few. I mean, we have some very good followers on that. We appreciate that. But it's nowhere near like 8,000. If we had 8,000 people donating to our Patreon for Star Cottage Studio, maybe Andrew will throw up the link if you want to help support us. That's to help support Star Cottage Studio and keep our jewelry making studio going. We don't make a lot of money every month, that's for sure. But every bit of money we do make from that goes into the cottage and whatever we need for that month. So, but like I said, if 8,000 people just joined that for $1, it would be amazing every month. We could do so much with you all. Not only bringing in inventory and bringing in things, but to really get more programming, to welcome more artists to do things, to have more what's the word? Not consignment. I just lost it. We could help other artists by buying things from them is pretty much what I'm saying. Commission. We could commission other artists to do things for us, so you could see amazing things. We could do the podcast. We could do YouTube videos. It would be amazing if everyone on our Facebook page just gave us $1 a month. And you don't think that $1 is much, but $1 from everyone who follows us, that would be crazy. I'd love it. I'd be so happy. I'd be happy all the time. I'd be probably giving multiple things away every day, every live. So if you know anyone who wants to join our Patreon, maybe Andrew can pop up the link there. Donna says, I love everything I've gotten from y'all. Yeah, we do appreciate that. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad you do. We have so many people that, order from us consistently. And we know that we're one of your major suppliers, even though it's funny to think we're major. We're not major. But in what you do, we appreciate that. Donna says, oh, you're the swag bag won it in the last TGBE. That's awesome. Facebook user, I don't know who you are, but hello. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. Amanda says, I received my Allegory Gallery order. I love it. Thanks. Thank you. We should be thanking you for, you can go anywhere and buy beads. I know that. And we always feel that. So we are very appreciative with every order. I'm not hands-on with a lot of the orders anymore, other than these video orders when we do these. But I see them come in and I look at them every day, and we're very, very thankful for all of you out there who do continue to support us every month. Andrew says, if we had to close the store in Ligonier, it wouldn't necessarily be the end. It would not, but it would be hard. It would feel bad, for one, but if it's a call we had to make, or a call we would have to make, we would make that. But we're not there right now. We're doing, I'm knocking on wood. Things are tight every month. Like we get to the end of the month and it's like, okay, the bank account's at zero again. Let's restart this again. And that's not a great way to run a business, but it's small business world. It's especially small business world in a pandemic. We still are going through it. People think we're out of it. We're not. And spending is not what it used to be. So, that's just the way it is. Every month we're scraping by, but we're still here and we're still doing it. And we still love hanging out with all of you. And we're still thankful for every bit of support that you give us. Suzanne says, I got my AG order, then ordered more. Thank you. I saw that. I saw you got one of the pendants too. You got that snake one, which is nice. That's nice. I like that one a lot. Susan is finally here running in errands after getting Moderna boosters. That's good. We should get boosters. We had COVID a few months ago, so we've been able to hold off on getting another booster, but Andrew's talking about getting it before going to Tucson, of course. Andrew says, I think we might change the Patreon to incorporate all the businesses that we have now. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, probably, just to support the whole thing of all that we do. because there's, we don't always do everything to update the people on Patreon. Andrew works hard at that. He takes care of all of that, thankfully. There are months I forget, and he's done it. We divide and conquer sometimes, a lot of times. But to come up with things, I think, every month that show what we're doing, it's not necessarily difficult, but to tailor interesting things to just one part of the business can be difficult. So I think breaking up the Patreon into other facets, Allegory Gallery, Star Cottage Studio, and our new one coming up next year would be great. Andrew did put the Patreon there. It's patreon.com/Star Cottage Studio. Star Cottage Studio. Amanda says, can't wait for the next TGBE. I know, it's coming up soon. It's coming up soon, everybody. It's so crazy. It's like it never ends. It's like there's always the next thing, which is good, right? If it ends, that's scary. Donna says, I can't either. I really enjoy them. Andrew says, it's just not our time, but you never know. It's true. It's true. You never know. Like I said, this month we're coming up on, we're shaking change out of the couch cushions, and there's not much to shake out. That's just the way it is. And my anxiety sometimes gets wild about that. So I try to just, say, hey, what's the worst that's going to happen? It all closes and you start something new. I don't know. I hope not. Getting a little bit, I think, up there in years to want to start anything new. But we're, like I said, I know we have all of you out there, and you all keep us going, and we appreciate that. Let's see here. Terry says, I support your Patreon. Thank you so much. Marianne says, I love my goodies too. Thank you. Yeah, and that supporting our Patreon really means a lot, because, like I said, you are giving us something. I mean, you're getting something. We do posts and we do things in the Patreon, but you are giving us something without something physically being shipped to you, without us having to, pay someone to help us ship things out and all of that. So we really do appreciate that. And like I said, if everyone who follows us on Facebook donated $1, just $1 a month, the amount of things we could do would be incredible. Incredible. I would be jumping. I can't even tell you. It's forcing me to smile. I just thinking about that, the kind of things that we could do with all of that, from new equipment to better filming, better videos, investing in people. It would be crazy amazing. Donna says, I love ordering from y'all because there are no bead shops anywhere near me. That's starting to happen more and more. We used to have bead shops near us. Some have come and gone while we've been here. Some were here before us and have gone. There's not as many around anymore. And so if that tells you how hard it is, I think that should tell you how hard it is, honestly. Andrew always says, when we started our store, one of the people that we consulted with said that a bead store will last as long as the owners have energy for it. And that's what it is, because, it's wild to think, and I don't talk about this all the time, but today we're talking about, the bank account gets low every month, very low. And we put that energy in and we try and build it back up every month. And to think that somebody 11 years ago, when things were better, told us the same thing, that your store will last as long as you have energy for it. And it's like, until you live it, you may not even think that that's the truth, but it is, so much the truth. And we're big believers in reinvesting our money into what we do. So yes, we could have made it easier on ourselves. We could be cushioned a little bit better, maybe. But we wouldn't have Star Cottage Studio if we did that. We wouldn't have our building in Johnstown that we're turning into another store if we did that. We're living life on the edge, y'all. We live life on the edge. And it's a dangerous edge some days. But you know what? We count on you all. We count on our support groups out there. Those people most of you who all, pitch in every month and love what we do. So we appreciate that. I know it's starting, but you know what? I've been talking to myself in my head, which I do a lot. We talk about whether you have an inner monologue in your head or not. Some people have an inner monologue where you talk to yourself and you can hear words. and some people don't. I have an inner monologue and I talk to myself a lot. And I've been thinking to myself a lot about gratitude lately. And, it helps a little bit stay out of that anxious zone. When I see things happening and I want to just throw up, which happens too. But I've been thinking a lot about gratitude and how, in 11 years, it's always been very up and down. This business we are a hobby business. At the moment things get hard in the economy, people stop their hobbies. At least some of them do. We're appreciative for those of you who do not, and for those of you who use us as a vendor for what you sell as well. But it's one of those things. Things are very up and down, but we've never been so far down that we couldn't come back up. And knock on wood, and thank you all. I know this has been a lot of thank yous and a lot of, but we don't just, talk the talk. It's true. We believe it, and we're very thankful, and we're very grateful for all of you out there. And I know I've spent like 45 minutes talking about this, but it's true, and we appreciate you. Marianne says, we might spend as much, but more on necessities rather than lovely beads, right? Yeah. Bonnie says, I agree. We are small business. We are small business. We are just getting by with all of our medical bills. Yeah. If something happened to me or Andrew again, medically, like I have insurance for me from my other job that I work, almost a full-time job, every week. But Andrew does not. Andrew, it's been hard. So it's one of those things that, they talk about how you're one medical emergency away from bankruptcy, and that's not close. I mean, that's not far away from being untrue. So I get it. It's not easy. And we're thankful that you all are out there. Andrew says, this year has been particularly challenging, especially as we grow. I think it's important to contextualize that we are building a future. Yeah, we have to keep that in mind. We're scraping every month to get by, but we are trying to build something bigger. And there are always, unless you're very lucky, and you just hit it big, building is always going to be hard. And we are trying to build bigger, and we're putting money in places where we probably should keep it in the bank account if we were very conservative with what we do. But we're kind of, Andrew pushes us into risk taking a little bit more than sometimes I would, but it's good because we have built this. We would not have done any of this if it was my conservative nature. Fiscally, I would be working another job and I would be living off of that, which would not be much. So, we take chances. Whether my anxiety likes it or not, that's what we do. And we are building something bigger than us is the goal. Something that down the line, people can come and enjoy and learn and grow and, build a community. So that's what we try to do. That's what's important. Susan says, one thing I hate is the race to the bottom mentality. I especially see this in upper class people. One example, I know people who buy books exclusively from the big A because they're so much cheaper than local indie bookstores. Yep, they're cheaper until you look between the lines on the page, right? It's true. That's one of those things that we fight with all the time. We try to keep our stones and our things priced well, but we cannot compete with some people. It's just impossible, but it's that race to the bottom. Do you want to keep making your prices lower and lower to the point where everyone else closes except for those who are big enough to be able to hang on? That's not what you want. That's not what we want in life. Just big, giant corporations pumping out stuff. I don't think that's what nurtures us. And that's why we are trying to keep our store and keep everything going that we like to have and that we think you would like to have. But, okay. I'm scrolling through comments. I'm going to try and shut up soon, and we're going to get to it. I know poor Suzanne, she has to go. Didn't even get to see any of the beads. Susan says my rant is over. Mine is not, but it needs to be, right? Let's see. Susie is with us. I made it. Thank you. Amanda says, Andrew's still at Cynthia's. No, Andrew is home. Andrew is home. Um, Bonnie says, I'm so grateful my kids are all on their own and grown, less to worry about, right? I think my mom probably feels the same, except my mom has owned a small business before. My dad and my mom had a car dealership, well, a car repair. My dad sold and repaired used cars with his brothers. And so my family is not, um, they don't really shy away from small business. We've had one. Um, my dad lost his lease at one point because a bigger company came in and wanted the space. So his business ended, completely ended, because there was nowhere else to go at that point. And they tried to go to another location, and I guess they did try, actually. They found one other location, but it just wasn't the same anymore. And so that business ended. Uh, my mom worked for a small business most of her life. So we know what it's like with a small business, and you do have to, um, you have to work hard. And so I think my mom would feel better if I were still like in New York working for Apple, even though I didn't get to see her as much. But I think she would feel more, that we were financially better off. But she sees that we're doing what we love, and she loves what we do too. So it's a trade-off, right? Susan says, well, almost over. Support your local businesses. Okay, Rando. All right. Donna says, I totally get that. My show on 12/11, December 11th, I didn't even make my booth fee back, but last Saturday I cleared $54. Nice, right? You never know. You never know, and we never know. It's hard. It's hard. Teresa says, it's not expensive to support their Patreon. It is not. We have easy get-in levels. So if you all want to support that, the link is in the comments on Facebook. Andrew posted the link. Andrew said, another bead shop that's been open for 35 years is closing. I didn't know that. I don't know which one that is, but that's sad. That's sad. You would hope that you could sell things. That's what we're hoping, like for our retirement, if we need to, if things aren't just perpetually going by that point. But when it's time for us to retire, you hope that you can sell your business and it will still keep going. That's, it's like a child. The business is our child, and hopefully keeping it going is what's important in the end, and we can sell it off. But sometimes things close, and that's sad too. Susan says, our local bead shops have mostly vanished, and I live in a metro area of about 3 million people. That's sad. That's sad. Amanda says, we've always had one bead store here or in a neighboring city, not anymore. Nearest is 45 minutes away, and it's small. The next nearest is Toronto. Yeah, it's crazy what's happening, right? It's hard with a hobby business. It's really hard. Andrew says, it's that time of the year to look inward. It is. Suzanne says, our local bead store is still going strong. I'm glad they are. I'm really glad they are. Marianne found a bead store in the mall. Nice. Nice. We've thought about opening a place in the mall, but they're so expensive around here. I don't know how people do it. Susan says, back to ranting. Our healthcare delivery system in this country is shameful. It's true. It's true. Andrew says, I would like to rethink that mentality. Creativity has always been the thing that has helped us get through the hardest parts of my life. And even in the hardest and darkest of times ahead, there will be a way forward. Maybe it's unexpected, little by little, right? There's Vicks Vapor Rub. I don't know what that's. I don't know, but useful sometimes. Let's see here. Suzanne, we'll see them later. Nice. Tell them we say hello. Andrew says, Vicks is the Filipino cure-all. I saw a comedy act and laughed myself hoarse when he brought that up. That's funny. Donna says, I'm very selective about where I get my beads and findings because of that very reason. Teresa says, my local bead store is so expensive that I can't shop there. Her prices are like triple what they should be. It's hard. It's hard. And that's the thing is, what is what they should be? Like, it starts with a bead store, it starts with our rent. How much do we pay in rent? How much do we have to cover every month? Are there employees? And it's hard. I can't, unless somebody is really gouging, it's hard for me to fault any business for any prices they have. We try to keep our prices as low as we can. Um, Things over the pandemic, we've had to raise prices to points that I didn't think we'd have to see for years, but that's the way of things. So I get it. It's hard to fault anybody, especially any small business, for what prices they have, unless you see them living large in their mansions and their, um, their Bentleys or whatever. But it's hard to fault anybody for that right now, especially now. But I get it. My husband used to own a business with partners. A big company came and bought it up. It's good when it gets bought up, as long as you make your money, right? That's fine. If anyone wants to buy Allegory Gallery and all the things, we can give you a good deal. But I would never say that we are opposed to selling. It's if somebody bigger wanted to come in and buy us up and do the things we do, it would be we'd have to consider that. Susie says, I've been wanting to open a bead shop. But I can't find a suitable location. It's hard. It is hard to find a location. Andrew says, we were poor in New York. So even though it might have seemed like you were doing well at Apple, it was just so much more expensive to live there. So I don't regret our decision to move here. No, I don't either. I don't one bit. But there were possibilities in Apple, whether I stayed with them or what. But there were possibilities to make money and to do other things and management and things like that. But so that would have ultimately probably been the safer route. Would I have had as much fun? Maybe. Who knows? Probably not. I do love Apple, but I also know that after I left and after some turnovers in their management, it sounded like it wasn't as much of a fun place to work as it was when I was there. Marion says, the rent in the mall is high. Yeah, that's the thing. Good night, Suzanne. Sorry we didn't get to any of the beads, but you can rewatch later if you see anything. I feel bad about that, but it's been good chatting with everybody. It's been good chatting. Andrew says, no need for health insurance. Just use essential oils and Vicks. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hello out there, whoever you are in Facebook Landia. Thank you for joining us. Janice says, we have one bead store in the Kansas City metro area, and it's not far from me. That's nice. That's nice. And it's lucky that you have it. But when you think there's only one in the Kansas City metro area, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? How many bars? How many restaurants? And one bead store. Amanda says, some of us probably have enough stock to open a bead store. Maybe. I wouldn't doubt that some of y'all do. But we hear that a lot. But if you knew the kind of inventory it takes to actually open one, we did open with we bought out another store that had closed some years before us, and we did open with very little. But we're also in a very small town, and we were not online for a while, so it takes more than a lot of people realize. Andrew says, also, you wouldn't have had time with your grandparents. You can't put a price tag on that. No, it's true. I'm not saying I regret it. I'm just saying that my mom probably would have felt more comfortable if I was bringing in big bucks at Apple than teetering on the edge monthly with small business. But I have spent more time with my family. I got to see my grandparents before they passed and spent time with them. So that is very important to me. And we had our cats, which we may not have had in New York. That's a hard thing to do sometimes. Our friends that we've made, it's we wouldn't have known any of you all. It really, probably, if we, maybe some of you, Andrew knew from his blog, but most of you we probably would have never known, and that would have been sad. Andrew said, also some malls, they take a huge cut if you make over a certain amount. Yeah. Um, some malls, you pay a standard rent, and then if you make over a certain amount, they take a chunk of everything you make over that amount in addition to your rent. That's how some malls do it. And that's insane. We actually, when we were doing some pendants and the wooden pendants and things wholesale, we had some stores that would buy them. They're like, I'm sorry, I can't buy this month because if I buy and sell any of these, they couldn't do trunk shows sometimes. They're like, if I sell any more, they're going to start eating into my profits big time. So it's a weird thing to think that you have to stop selling stuff or else you're actually going to lose more money. And I think it's retroactive. So if you go over a certain point, retroactively, they take a chunk of everything. It's weird. But that's how they do it sometimes. Andrew says, not to dissuade people from opening a bead store and following their dream, but it's harder than you all think. It is. It is. I think we're pretty smart people, and I think we're pretty, we balance each other pretty well, Andrew and I. But it's still incredibly difficult to have a small business and a bead store. Janice says, there used to be 5 not far from me at one time. And we used to have 2 bead shows a year. Now none. It's true. It's true. Hello, Celia out there beading. Thank you for joining us. My mom is also risk adverse, so safer isn't. It is also more risk. Safer isn't always better. Yeah, my mom raised 2 kids pretty much on her own. My dad was, I talk about this often, my dad was an alcoholic and drug addict. He's doing well now, and we're all good now. But my mom raised my brother and I on our own. And so safer for her was the better route. That's not, always the case. At least, I don't know if it was the better. She could have maybe done things, and who knows. My mom is incredibly smart and well-read, but she was always afraid to take that jump. So she played things safe, and I have always been that way. I follow after my mom and my grandmother, who've always, just steady, do the safe thing. But it's a good balance for Andrew, because Andrew is very much jump into the next thing. So we balance each other pretty well. Bonnie says, it's been fun getting to know you guys on social media. You all too. We get to get to know you, and that's part of the fun of having our business and doing what we do. Amanda says, the mall in my city has tons of vacancies. Most of our malls do around here too. They're trying to bring in small businesses to the malls, but they're not offering rents anywhere near what most small businesses can do, which is hard. Janice says, we have a major mall 5 minutes from our house, and I haven't been there in at least 5 years. I try to stay clear from them. Yeah, it's hard. We like to shop small too. Sometimes you can't. But some of our malls are bringing in small businesses, those who can try to afford it. And so I don't know if any of your malls are doing that out there, but sometimes the small businesses nowadays are in the malls. So I wouldn't say stay away from them, but like I said, I will support small before anything else if I can. Anderson, unless you want to buy our bead business, we've got a good price for you, right? Got a good price for you. Celia says, beading costs less and is more successful than seeing a shrink, right? Sometimes, for some people, maybe, right? It can be, it's very therapeutic in a lot of ways. And I have found that out. I don't necessarily do a lot of the beading, but just having the things around me and having, that joy that you get with these things and working with them. And I love just taking pictures of them and sharing them on social media. It's part, when I can get involved and really focus in on doing that, it's such a fun thing. But if you need a therapist, don't wait, right? Go see one if you can. I would never say you should just replace a therapist, but yeah, I get what you're saying, Celia. Absolutely. Let's see here. Andrew says, if we had human kids, it might be different. yeah, you know, we can take these risks ourselves. I mean, I have seen both ways of things. You know, there's the way that you end up, you know, in life, you know, having things, and there's the way you end up not having things. Um, and I've seen both in my family. And, you know, in the end, pretty much everybody's okay. So, I mean, I guess I should be less risk adverse, but because I've seen what happens when you take all the risks and you end up with nothing sometimes, but you still end up okay. Um, so I don't know, but we would prefer to be successful. We would prefer to be successful. Marion says, not sure it's cheaper, but definitely therapeutic, right? Um, Andrew says, our lives here, these lives are like therapy, right? It's a therapy. It's my therapy session. I get to talk over these things with y'all and get it out of my brain. Hopefully it works for you too. Susan says, I love the creativity of making things. Me too. Me too. Even if they're like, my making things is different than like Andrew's. I like making the digital things and doing these lives, and but it's all therapeutic. I think. Bonnie says, yes, this time of year especially, get help from professionals if you feel you can't cope. Absolutely. Public service announcement, right? Absolutely. If you feel you need help, find it. Please find it. We would rather see you here on our lives than not see you ever again. So if you have needs for that, please do be sure. I don't want to make light of that in any way, because you are all important to us. And, you know, we lose somebody in the community, which happens from time to time. It's a sad thing. And, you know, I have people on my friends list who have passed. And whenever I do the invites, like I did an invite for this video, and I do invites for like our New Year's Eve thing. And because we're having a New Year's Eve party in the store. Hopefully people will come. Who knows? But I go through the invite list, and when I see their names, I want to invite them, and it's like, oh, they're not with us anymore. So we want you here. We want you here. So if you do feel the need for that, please seek that out. All right. Vanessa's has definitely taught me patience, right? Beating teaches patience, right? Creativity sometimes teaches patience. All right. So I'm going to flip the camera. We're going to get to actually looking at stuff today. I know. Imagine that. I could just end this now. It's been an hour and almost hour and 10 minutes. But we're going to actually look at some stuff. And we're going to hopefully sell some stuff. Hopefully you like this. If you do want to purchase any of this, I'm going to find my screenshot banner because that's how we're going to do it today. There it is. If you would like to purchase from this video, take a screenshot of the item you'd like and send it to us at info@allegorygallery.com. I'll leave that scrolling across the bottom for anyone who needs to see it. All right, I'm going to flip this around now. It's going to take me a little bit to adjust this. I think my stand's working better. Some days, even my stand feels like it's working better than other days. You know, it's just like me. Some days it wants to work, and some days it would rather not, right? Let's see here. Donna says, I love this community. It got me through 2020 when everything shut down. Thank you. I'm glad you do. And we love you too. We're so happy that you're a part of it. Andrew says, there are things that I would like to do if we had money. Like I'd get my teeth fixed, but we make sacrifices. I am happy to do it because we're working on building a future. It's true. It's true. There's a lot we would like to do, both for ourselves, which is a little bit selfish, but you know, taking care of your health is not necessarily all that selfish. But also, if we had, like I keep talking about this, if we had 8,000 followers donating $1 a month to our Patreon, that would help us. You don't even understand how much that would help and what we could do with that. Oh my goodness. So yeah. Amanda says, all of you guys are like a breath of fresh air. Y'all are. You know, you keep me sane. I'll say that. And we appreciate all the support you give us. Diane says, I just got here and you still haven't shown the beads yet. I know. It's not all beads today. It's a mix of stuff. Andrew says, my short-term/long-term goal is to find a forever home for AG for our actual physical store. Because we're renting right now. And we would love to find a place to plop us so that we don't have to, you know, right now what we pay in rent is exactly what we pay for our house in a mortgage. Actually, it's more. It's more than the mortgage for our house. So we would love to find a permanent place. And if you all join our Patreon, all 8,000 of you following us on Facebook, and all 1,000 of you joining us on YouTube, I'm sure there's a crossover. But if you all gave us $1 on Patreon, we could do it. We could make that happen. Andrew says most of the bead stores that are still around are the ones that own their own buildings. Yeah, and a lot of the stores in Ligonier that have never had to close, even through hard times, are the ones that own their own buildings. So it's a big thing to own your own spot. All right. Let's see. Do I have a penny? A penny helps. And I have many pennies, apparently. All right. What are we going to get started with? I have lots of stuff to show you today, too. Let's see here. Well, first, before we even get to this, I'm going to show you these. I can't remember if we showed them to you or not. These, I happened to bring down, I don't even know if Andrew has these completely 100% ready, but I grabbed them up and didn't realize I'd grabbed them up with the stuff I brought to the store today. And I can't remember if I showed you all of these or not. But these are a few that are not in the online store yet. There's a cat with a crown. There's a raccoon with a crown. And there's an eye. I love this eye. I love this eye. Andrew says the bead business is so feast or famine, so having an asset is super important for longevity. Yeah, and that's why we have our studio. That's why we tried to buy that and did, and why we have our building in Johnstown for the next business we want, because we know that it is possible, you know, to do better if you have your own place. So the next business we start up hopefully will be a little more secure in that it has its own building. Allegory Gallery has just grown to be too big to really fit there. We could do it if we had to downsize, but we'd prefer to find a larger place. Andrew says, my goal for 2023 is to start up the new business and generate more income, hopefully pay down debt and get in a better position to have a better home for AG, a forever home. Yeah, we got debt to pay, and right now we have like 3 mortgages. We would never be able to get another one on what we make. So we have to pay down some of this stuff first. So here we have, these are enameled pendants. So I don't know if we've really talked about how these are done in like during a live. I know we talked about it just vaguely, but what happens is we take a metal blank, and whether we cut that out ourselves or we purchase the blanks as they are, we've done both. And so this is a copper blank. It comes with no hole. So we've taken you on a video through how we make those holes and showed you the process of heating up this metal, annealing it, pickling it, cleaning it up, and getting it ready for the enamel. And then on the back, we put on a counter enamel. And you use a counter enamel because in enameling, the glass and the metal don't quite expand and contract at the same rates. So if you had to build up layers of enamel on one side, like if you're doing designs on one side, like we do on these, and you put up multiple layers of enamel on one side, sooner or later, your metal would start to bend toward the glass. And it would start to warp the piece. So you put on counter enamel first, is what we do on the back. And then once that counter enamel, it goes into a kiln at about 1500 degrees. And when we pull that out and it cools down, this side, the normal copper side is what that would be, is filthy dirty generally. So that has to be, it's fire scaled. So that has to be cleaned off. So we take a little, we have a flex shaft drill, and we put on a little sanding pad on that, and we sand off all of that, and it brings back the copper, and then that gets enamel placed on it, and then that goes back in the kiln for 1500 degrees. And you have to be careful because the things you use to put this in the kiln can leave marks. So we try our best not to leave marks because when the glass reheats, things can sink into it. So you got to make sure that every time you put this in the kiln, you're doing it in a way that you're not leaving marks. And then what we end up doing is, this is some magic that Andrew does, and I'm not going to talk about that too much, but what happens is this white that you see, so this is the counter enamel on the back, and the counter enamel is this blue color in this case. This is actually called counter enamel, but the process is also counter enameling, and it's putting any enamel on the back. But this particular is called counter enamel from the brand. So what happens is, this was counter enameled in this blue, and the enamel color on the front is this white that you see. So then Andrew does his magic and puts on this special stuff that he does, and then it's all black, and then he scrapes away the black to reveal the white, and that's called sgraffito. That's when you scrape away the top layer to reveal the undercoat. A lot of people have been asking us, are those decals? What are you doing to get that? So that's what it is. These are all white bases, and then Andrew's put his magic on the top and scratched it away and made that design. So each one of these designs is hand done, and it's just like if Andrew were drawing something. Each one is a piece of artwork in itself, a hand-drawn piece of artwork. So that would be like, if somebody drew you something and you put it in a frame, Andrew just did that on every single one of these pendants. So these are the latest ones. They're going to be going in the online store soon. The black and white ones that we've done. And then you've all seen maybe, if you've been tuning in, you've seen the rainbow ones. We're going to get those done. We need a sunny day, though, because the top layer that we use to protect them needs a sunny day to set and cure, because we use a type of resin. So we need a sunny day. We're waiting for a sunny day. Andrew says, we might go into decals to make things more accessible, but we're not there yet. I'd like to get them done for Tucson, but we'll see. Yeah, we're not opposed to decals, but that would surely bring the price way down. Maybe not too far down. We can't go too crazy because the process to get these ready is still a lot of the work. But the amount of time Andrew spends designing each one would be a lot less. Let's see who's here with us. What's going on. Nancy's with us. Hello, Nancy. Nancy says, cute cat. Isn't that cat? It is. It is very cute. Let's see here. Andrew says, it's always wild to think that things are constantly moving. Things that seem immovable like metal and glass are always expanding and contracting, right? It's true. It's true. Things slowly move. Nancy says, thank goodness for flex shafts. That's for sure. That's for sure. Hello, Lorraine. Thank you for tuning in. And it says abracadabra, right? Abracadabra. There's a picture. It sounds when we talk about this and we say we make these pendants, people, I think, because these are $70, $75, but they're each a work of art. They're each a mini work of art. And, when we go to places and we always try and buy art in places that we visit, and we try and buy small scale because that's what we can afford generally. But spending $70 or $75 on a small scale piece of art is pretty, common, pretty common. Hello, June. Thank you for tuning in. We're just getting started now. I just wanted to show these because I can't remember if we did or not. And these happened to come with me today. I didn't even mean for them to, but they did. So I figured, hey, and I started showing them a little bit, I think, online. So there you go, on our stories and stuff. Okay, let's get to my favorite stuff. First off, I wanted to show you this ring. This ring is probably one of my favorite rings in the store. It's a big ring. It's a big ring. But it has so many rubies. Look at that. They're all rubies, everybody. Those are rubies, and they're beautiful rubies at that. This is a hand-carved camel bone focal in the ring. The ring's so big it's got a focal. And oh, Bonnie says they would be cute as Christmas ornaments. These, yes. If we did decals and stuff, we could do that a lot easier and make more things with that. So here, this ring is $240. It's expensive, I know. It actually has a design on the back too. But the way they set it, you can kind of see through. I like that they left it open at least so you can see it. But How cool is that? That's a statement piece. You go into some parties, you want a statement piece. When I talk about statement pieces, I often say on these videos about how Andrew and I always wear some big thing, whether it's a big ring, or a big pendant, or a brooch, or a necklace. We usually wear something that stands out because we're both kind of shy when it comes to, I know you wouldn't think maybe, because we do these lives all the time, but it's different in a social situation. So we always wear something big and kind of, over the top, so that people will come up and talk to us, and that's their way of being able to, say, hey, I like that. Even like people like me, who I'm an introvert, I'm an extroverted introvert, maybe. I do have my moments. But if I see somebody wearing something that's really cool, even if I'm shy, I'm still going to, be able to go up and say, hey, that's really cool. Can you tell me about that? So that's what we do. And that's why when I see big things like this, um, Andrew calls them icebreaker pieces, right? Even when I see things like this, it's like, okay, this is an icebreaker piece. This is a good thing. Plus, I like big, gaudy things. Not this is gaudy. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I like big jewelry, and I like big statement pieces. I always have. Y'all, if I had the time and energy to dress myself the way I want to, you see a different person. But I ain't got the time, the energy, or the money to do that yet. Someday you'll see my true form, as Andrew says. My true form. Um, Donna says, William, I'm the same way, right? Sometimes you need an icebreaker. Um, Susan says, quite the statement piece, right? It is, but it's cool. Andrew said, plus I want to get to know the person who gets and wears this, right? Exactly. You want to do, like, who doesn't want to get to know the person that's wearing this? That's a pretty fabulous piece. We have more rings like this. If you like these and are interested in seeing any of the other ones, they're all around the same price, but we have different stones, different. Of course, these are all hand carved, so they're all different. Andrew says, "Final form," right? Final form. Diane says, "I don't even know if my finger is long enough for that ring." You don't know. You never know. Andrew says, in 2020, 2021, my goal was to deepen my relationship with metal and understand it better. 2021, 2022 has been about surface embellishment. Enameling is a bridge between my paintings and my jewelry. Andrew says, it's like, who is this person who's wearing this giant mermaid ruby ring? Me. It's William. He's wearing it, right? Anyway, here we go. All right. So next up, let's see, what do I want to show? I just have a mishmash of stuff, so I'm not really sure what order to share this in. How about this? How about this? This is a little vessel made up of composite Roman glass, and this one has all the shiny bits. I can't believe this is still here, honestly. It's composite Roman glass. Look at all those shiny bits from being in the ground. Got that patina, that beautiful patina that you cannot fake. Andrew has spent many, many hours trying to fake that patina to no avail. And if he can't do it, I believe that it's probably pretty dang difficult. So this is pieces of Roman glass that have been glued together in some way, pasted together, cemented together, to make a little Roman glass vessel. Now this is available. We only have this one. We had a number of these, and this is the last one, I believe, unless I have more in that never-ending box in the back. But I think this is the last one. It's $36 only, which is an incredible deal. And yeah, that's it. There it is. It's a little guy, but it can hold a little flower or something, right? I have something here. I don't have anything here. There you go. I'm gonna leave that here. I need to take a drink, y'all. Okay. Donna says, I wore my vintage African necklace from AG Saturday at a show and got a number of compliments on it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Always like it when that happens, right? All right, what's next? I don't know. I'm just going to grab something. How about these? This is all stuff that I showed you on the, I'm giving away the, normally I hold the stuff that I put on the preview for this video till last, but I'm getting to see it all now. So these are beautiful teardrops with that mercury kind of glass finish, and it's check glass. I only have 2 strands of each color available. And actually, I want to, hold on. I have to get my light to make sure, yeah. So these are really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. This is more of an ambery color, and this is more of a yellow-green color. And again, I'm showing you a lot of stuff that we have onesies and twosies. We only have 2 of each color. That's it. They're $7 a strand. And if you want any of these, just take a screenshot and send it to me. Let me know how many of them you want. Andrew says, I love the idea of Iris Apfel and Oren and Robert, who are just so over the top with their style. They have all these crazy stories about the people they've met and the things they've done, and it's mostly because of their style. I agree. I agree. So here they are, beautiful colors, beautiful strands, 2 each only, and then they're gone. Probably not see these again. These are pretty old, honestly. We've had these for a number of years, I will say, and I can't believe they're still here because I show them a lot. Why people aren't buying them, you know, it comes and goes. People's idea of what they like changes, so you never know. Next up, how about this ring? This is one of my favorite. I'm going to just show both of these. We have 2 of them. One is kind of ovally. It is an oval. And one is round. It says, Iris is my girl crush, right? Iris is my girl crush. And that's the people we bought this from. They were definitely inspired by her. They had pictures of her all over. And I don't know if she's one of their clients or not, for sure. But they had pictures of her all over wearing jewelry like this. And some of those big bangles that we have and the necklaces that we got that kind of go along with all that. Really cool. Really cool. So we have these 2 rings. These are turquoise, coral, and silver. And they are only $48 for these rings. $48. And these are, I love them. I don't know what finger I can get this on. I can probably get it back off of that finger. But I think they're just spectacular. But these are bigger size rings. Let me see. So these are about 10. Size 10 for the round and size 10.5 for the oval. So size 10, size 10.5. So depending on what size you need, they may be big, they may be small, who knows? But they're great. They're awesome because they're also unisex. I've had guys buy these in the store, and I've had women buy these in the store. So it doesn't really matter. If it fits, it fits, right? So we have those. Those are some of my favorite, very favorite rings in the store. I love them so much. It's just, if they were more, like I love them, but they're not necessarily my style, right? Not necessarily my style, or I would have them. They would be mine by now. Another thing we have is handmade, oops, let me raise this up a little bit. Handmade wooden sculptures. And we have these in store. They are beautiful. This is just one that I picked. Hand turned. See that flash in that wood? That's like a labradorite flash or something, right? It's a beautiful wood. And I think this actually has three different types of wood. There's the type of wood that's used for this part. There's this one that makes the body of the vessel, and then the top. Actually, I think there are four. This is another type of wood, and then the cap is yet another type of wood. But these are beautiful. They're all handmade, and this one is $125, for example. These do. Every sale of these also helps another small business. So there you go. If you like that, if you want to see more of those, you can see them during our store tour. If you check out our latest store tour, I showed those. But also, I can get you pictures of more if you'd like. All right. Marion says, too big for me. Yeah, the rings are big. They're bigger. I think that's one of the reasons those two particular ones are here. I've had all different sizes, and I think the size 10 and 10 and a half are a little bit harder for people. Sorry, everybody. Excuse me. Andrew says, I am never put off if something doesn't sell out right away. Sometimes it's just about timing and the magic of the right person finding the right thing at the right time. And then he says, I take that back. Sometimes I'm disheartened if I make something and love it and no one else seems to like it. But I stand by what I said earlier. Sometimes it's about the right person coming across something at the right time. It's very true. It's very true. We have a lot of people that come in, and even sometimes, the right time is the most important factor in that, because we have people that come in to our store, regularly or semi-regularly, and you would think they'd have seen something before, but they just find it and they're like, this is perfect for me. And it may be something that they should have been able to see 50 different times before, but just now, that's the right time for it. So that happens too. Susan says that hand-turned jar is gorgeous, quite skillfully done. Yes, we have a lot of stuff, and it is beautiful, all beautiful stuff. Let's see here. So we have these. Nancy says, I purchased one of those beauties from my ex as he was scheming to plan to destroy me. Oh, no. Oh, no. Get it back. Get it back, Nancy. That's what I say. Take it back. Donna says, those rings are big, but could be used for a scarf tie. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people, actually, the vendor we bought these from, who had these set, this was his personal collection of hand carved stuff that they had set into these rings and are selling them that way. But they have a person who they said specifically buys these rings just to use them with scarves, and that they sell it with the scarf. And they sell very high-end scarves, everybody, because these rings are high-end as they are, like $240. That's pretty expensive for a ring. So they sell them with the scarves and mix and match them that way. So you can definitely, Donna, it's a good point. You can definitely do that. Both of these, or all of these rings today would be great to be done up with scarves. Let's see, next up, I have this. This is one of my favorites. It's green quartz, puffy ovals. They're approximately 14 by 10 millimeters. It's only $18, but there's only one strand left. Only one of these left, and they're so pretty. Like, I just love it. I just love these. Beautiful little green quartz in there. So one strand, if you like that, $18. Andrew said their whole business is scarves and scarf ties. Who knew, right? Who knew you could do that? All right, so there's that. Next up, how about these? These are vintage check glass. They're only $6 each, but their little brightness just stood out so much today for me because it's been such a gray time of the year. These are so bright and so fun and so sunshiny. Let me see here. There they go. Hit that light. And there you go. Andrew said, I guess that's the same thing that happens when people find out we make a living off beads. Yeah, if it were only off beads, that would be something too. But we do a lot more than just beads. Just beads. So these are what? I said $6 each. 4 strands left if you'd like any of those. Vintage check glass. They have this beautiful twisty turny design to them. A little bit of a twist. Just a little twist. Oh, do I love this. So this is green kyanite. It's unpolished. They're teardrops. They're top drilled, rough cuts. That's a lot. 11 by 15 millimeters. 11 by 15 millimeters. And I don't know if hitting this with the light is going to show it better, but look at that green kyanite. It just has such a beautiful shimmer. I don't know if you're catching that, but these are beautiful little drops. I have to bring in the other light, everybody, if you're just tuning in and you're not used to watching us, because it's dark here now. And our lighting set up here, we have a better lighting set up in my home studio and at our Star Cottage studio, but here in the store, we don't have as great of a setup. So I try to add a little bit of light so you can see. But these are lovely. I think this is the last strand available. It's $45. So I know it's a little bit expensive, but you don't see that very often. Do you see green kyanite done up like that? Susan said, that green kyanite is amazing and hard to find. Right? Yeah, you don't see that very often. And this is beautifully green. Like this is not like, oh, maybe it's green, maybe it's blue. This is green. This is green. Nancy says, the magic of green kyanite, and that strand is a beauty. Thank you. It is. Andrew says, people who don't make jewelry, aren't involved with beads, do act surprised when I tell them what we sell. Yeah, they do. They do act surprised. They're like, whoa, what? You see, you like literally, you can watch people in their minds taking a step back. Like it's that mental step back when you tell them, oh, we sell beads. And it's like, what? So, yeah. And we had a number of people who, and they've since apologized for it, most of them. But when we started our store, there were a number of people who pretty much said, oh, they're only going to last 6 months. Like literally there were people in town who never thought we'd make it. And they're good friends now, most of them. And they've seen what we can do. They still sometimes can't believe it, but they know our work ethic and what we do. So it's funny. It's funny. Andrew says, your mom went with me to a big show when we were opening the store and she was shocked. Andrew says, not that kind of beads, right? Yeah, there are other beads. There are other kinds of beads that we do not sell. We're not talking about those, right? And so if you like the green kyanite, maybe, just maybe, you want the blue kyanite strand too. Look at that. Look at that. This is the blue kyanite strand. So we have the green kyanite and the blue kyanite. These are beautiful. They have that lapis denim blue color, which is so pretty. So there's the green and there's the blue. They're $45 each, which, as some people here have said, hard to find. This is 40. What am I talking about? This is 40. This is 45. This one, the green is a little bit harder to find, especially in that quality. So those are the two. And I know not everyone used the top drilled drops like this, but I think there's something really amazing about these. And they're flat. They're not rounded, so they're flat. I don't know if you can see that too, or if you saw that before. But they are flattened on each side. So there you go. Marianne says, hey, folks, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, Marianne. Please do hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the share button, y'all. Share, share, share. Sharing is caring. If you can't purchase, the next best thing is sharing with your friends who might be able to make a purchase, right? Look at those. Beautiful. I'm trying to give you the idea of what they'll be like actually in the daylight when you wear them, right? Instead of this dark, dreary back room I have right now. Andrew says, like, your mom knew I made jewelry and was involved with beads, but then seeing table after table piled with millions of dollars worth of sparklies was like, wow. Yeah, people don't know. Okay, I have one more strand of beads like those. And these are about 14 by 20 millimeters, same top drilled, same flattened, but this time in lapis lazuli. $40 for this strand. This is an excellent strand of lapis. Again, why is it still here? I don't even freaking know. I think it's just the shape. The shape is the only reason I can think of that these are still here. Because these are an excellent specimen of lapis. And everybody seems to love lapis right now. I get requests for it a lot. And when I show them this, they're like, oh, but that's not what I was looking for. Well, it should be, because these are beautiful. So if you like lapis and you love this cut, even if you don't love this cut, give it a try. I should have put that on the Beat in the New Year calendar. It should have been work with drops. And then I sell all of these, right? I wish. So this is $40. If you'd like this, take a screenshot, send it to us in an email, info@allegorygallery.com. That's how you purchase any of this. You can also just say the lapis, because this is the only lapis I think I have tonight. Same with the kyanites, green kyanite, blue kyanite. I do have one other kyanite, and I will show you that actually right now. Just be specific if you want the drops, or if you want the blue kyanite chips, because we have blue kyanite chips. These are $28 for the strand. They're approximately 7 millimeter chips in blue kyanite. And I love this strand so much. I think we have 2 of these available. But I love it so much. I just think they're so, like, I don't know if I can show you. Yeah. Let me try not to blind you. Try not to blind everybody. But look. Look at that. Look how pretty and how nice and blue those are. I love it. I love it. Andrew said those drops would make great earrings, but I saw a multi-strand design with these, and it was lovely. That's for those chips we're talking about. Norma says the lapis are gorgeous. They are. Andrew says, like, when people come into our store, sometimes folks might feel overwhelmed. No, might be underwhelmed, especially if they've been to a big show. But then you realize that we travel the country to find them and handpick them and brought them back. And each item has a story of where it came from. I would say that most people do not feel underwhelmed in our store. I think most, especially locals and people around this area, bead stores aren't a big thing anymore. So a lot of people like the variety that we carry, but I'm sure there are people that might be underwhelmed, especially when they see us on lives all the time and think we're some huge company. And we're not. We're just a little small company in a little small town, doing the best we can and growing as big as we can grow, and doing it the right way, with community and with love, and, you know, supporting other artists out there as much as we can. Marianne loves the kyanite chips. Me too. I don't know why they're here. These are just lovely chips. All right, next up is one strand of these available. One strand left. Matte quartz faceted tubes. These are a matte quartz tube. Donna says, drool that lapis, right? Remember, whenever you send us the emails, the first person to send it to us is the one that gets to purchase. We take it in the order. That's why we ask for emails, because it's much easier to timestamp the email than it is to timestamp messages or comments from all the different systems we run on. So send us that email. They all come into the same place that way. But yeah, the first one who sends us the email is the one who gets to get it. So when we only have one of something, if you really want it, send the email quick. Send the email quick. I urge you. Plus, it helps us. I'm going to say that, of course. I want to sell stuff. That's my whole goal, in addition to building this community. But the selling of the stuff is what helps us build this community. The selling of the stuff is what is the foundation of everything that we are able to do. The more we sell, the more we do. The less we sell, the less we can do. So I don't ever want to sound like, you know, buy, but I want to do more. I want to do lots more with y'all. So buy. Nancy says, I have to sign off. I've enjoyed your live tonight, William. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, Nancy. Good to see you here. Andrew says, we knew we could never compete with big stores, so instead of focusing on finding special things, we focused on finding special things and offering a carefully curated collection. I think our collection is impressive if you know what you're looking at. I think so too. So here we go. These are the matte quartz faceted tubes. $20 only. $20 for that strand. I think that's a good deal. There you go. I got to keep moving. I get to chatting and then I keep showing the same thing instead of moving on to the next. It's like I have to create a new topic in my head to talk about before I can move on to a new strand, which I need to get out of that habit. Dyed agate. This is just dyed agate, faceted tubes, but it's really pretty. It's super pretty. And it's $16. And as we always say, if it's dyed and we know it, we're going to tell you, because we don't mind if it's dyed, as long as it's not going to come off on your skin or your clothes. And these are fine. These are all good. Dyed agate. It's kind of that carnelian color. Just beautiful. It's color fast. You're not going to have to worry about it. And it also makes a beautiful strand for only $16, which if this were real carnelian, it would be more than that. It would be more than that. So there it is, trying to show you under some light too. And there we go. So $16, dyed agate faceted tubes. Next up, Amazonite. Amazonite matte rounds. These are grade A matte rounds at 6mm. Grade A matte Amazonite rounds, 6mm. This is $21. I'm going to pay a little bit more for that grade A, but it's worth it because you get that beautiful color and more regularity in each bead. Instead of having a lot of, sometimes they're darker on one side of the bead and lighter on the other. Each one of these is a little bit more regular because of that grade A, and very nice quality. And I just love the matte stuff. If you know me, you know I love the matte stuff. Let me hit this with a light so you can see how beautiful that really is. Lovely color to that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And Andrew says, like our vintage things, when folks get them, a lot of times they are just seeming like another thing of beads, but like there's a story. Sometimes I've climbed through crumbling cardboard boxes, disintegrating under my weight, and I dug through creepy basement and attics. Then we find something that has a hint of a sparkle or glitter, and then haul them up and clean them up, and sometimes share with the world something that may have been forgotten. Yeah, we do a lot of that. I'm going to switch now a little bit out of some bead strands so we don't get bored with the bead strands. And this is, everybody, that S word. You can see it there. I'm not going to say it because I'm not allowed to use that word. It's copyrighted and trademarked and all that good stuff nowadays. But we still have some of this in stock, like these crystal drops. These drops are so pretty. So the back looks like that, of course. And then the front are these pretty purples. Let's see if I hit that with a light. There we go. Get some light on that. These pretty purples and yellows in there. Look at that. So that's the S word, quote unquote, European crystal. And we have these drops like this. I have multiple colors of this shape. If you love this shape, I love this shape. We bought a lot of this shape because I love this shape. And Andrew, I think, loves this shape. But look at that. So this is kind of a greeny yellow and almost orangey pink color. So we have that one. That's $9 each. This drop was $12. Let me show you one other color in this kind of, I don't know if you call it a Baroque drop. Maybe that's what it is. This one has the browny reds, brown kind of reddish colors. Wish I could get the light to hit right. Gotta figure out where my light actually is. There it is. We have those in stock still. $9 each for those. I know a lot of people have sold out of the S-word crystals. And so, I mean, I don't know why we still have them. Maybe I don't show them enough. That's probably why. One of my favorite designs of theirs were these little, let's see if I can get that to zoom in. Not zoom, I can't zoom, but show you. These are scarab beetles. Scarab beetles, this beautiful yellow scarab beetle. We have a number of these available. I don't know if you can see that design. It's hard to see in the yellow. But the scarabs are $6 each. Let's see here. What's everybody saying? Andrew says, I'd like to do more of that, but we still do it. The crawling through things. Andrew loves to do that. He loves going through warehouses and crawling through and finding treasures. He said, just this weekend we traveled through the hills of Kentucky and found some artists and made connections. We also sourced some equipment for the cottage. Yeah, we were busy. We were busy. Vanessa says, it's silly you can't say it. I mean, it is still their product. Yeah, I could probably say it, but they could also, if I do talk about it, they could take down this video for trademark infringement. We used to have these in the online store, some of them, and we had to change all their names to European Crystal because when they saw the S word, Google knew that it was infringed and they would not let us list it on any of our Google listings or things like that. So yeah, it's one of those things. And then I have this one, this style. This is like a multicolor. There's like yellow, blue, green, red, orange, it's like the rainbow in there. These are $10 each. Beautiful crystals. And these are pendants. So this has a hole that drilled through the top. These all have holes drilled through them. They're not, and this one, the scarab, I think the hole runs, the hole runs front to back. It's like a bead. The rest of these are pendants. Andrew says, I think we'll go back in a few months. We had a good experience and discovered a really cool artist community that seems hewn from the rock and just had a massive tragedy. So we'll be back. It's true. Susan says, oh, the scarabs. I love the scarabs. Yeah, I think we only have them in yellow, but I might be wrong. But I just pulled this one to show you. But we do have a selection of S-word stuff. European Crystal. These are not all the colors, but these are most of the designs that we have. So if you are wanting anything like that, we have it. We have it, y'all. Just send me an email. If you want to see if we have other colors, I can check for you. I tried to pull, these are kind of my favorite colors out of the bunch. And I don't know how many others I have or don't have. You know, you focus on your favorites, right? Who doesn't? Who doesn't? All right. Then I wanted to show you these earrings. I'm going to actually take these off the stand because it's just wonky to use the stand. Andrew made these earrings. And they're gold-plated ear wires, gold-plated bezels, and they are pyrite, actually. Pyrite. Susan says, I have the blue version of those round crystals. I made them into earrings, which I'm wearing right now. That's awesome. Vanessa says, I know, but others don't say it either. Just crazy. Yeah. Andrew says, still their product, but from a trademark perspective, it takes away from what they're doing now. So it makes sense as to why they're protective of their intellectual property. I can't fault them for wanting to do something different, and wanting to do what they can to make sure it is the best. It has the best opportunity to succeed. Yeah, you know, some people have to change their business plan. They think it's better. Who are we? What are we going to do, right? What are we going to do? Find other suppliers when you need to, right? That's what you do. It's the way the world works. These are pyrite, though. Now, I also have these in silver. In silver, So if you wanted just silver, we have that. Oh, thank you, whoever that was, just purchased. And as I throw the earrings and knock everything over, get so excited about that purchase, start throwing things. So we have the pyrite with the silver surround and ear wires and the gold. These are $38 a pair if you're interested. I just figured, you know, I don't show jewelry on here that we've made or that we have in store very often. So I wanted to show you. We do have a lot of jewelry in store. You see that in our store tours probably. But I might start focusing a little bit more on this as, you know, the holidays are here. And I might start taking some pictures of some of Andrew's jewelry before he keeps threatening to take it away. So see if we can sell that. Andrew says he's doing a happy dance, right? Yeah. It's doesn't matter what amount comes through. When I hear that cha-ching, it's like, yes, thank you. Somebody loves us. Especially now, like I said, the end of the month always, we teeter on the edge of existence, it feels like. What do they say when they break a plate to sell it? Is that opa? Don't they say opa? I think that's what it is. I might be butchering that, but I think that's what it is. That's Greek, right? I had Greek friends in college, and that was a fun wedding. That was a fun wedding when she got married. Andrew says, they like me. They really like me, right? That's what it feels like. All right, back to some strands. Let's look at some strands again. Some strands. This one's beautiful, right? So this is multi-aquamarine pebbles. So all aquamarine pebbles, different shades, different colors of aquamarine. And these are the cutest little pebbles. I don't know. Like, I love these so much. Let me hit them with the light for you for a little bit. Everything's better in the light, right? I don't know. I like the dark too, but right now, with it being so dreary, I feel like everything's better in the light. Look at how beautiful those are. You got those kind of mossy, kind of verging on mossy green aquamarine. Nice bright blue aquamarine. Harry says, I just received my pack of pearls from AG today. Nice colors. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is $36 for the strand. Last strand available, I believe. I think this was the last one as I pulled that. I've kind of pulled my onesie twosies leftover favorites today because sometimes there's some hidden gems, and these are definitely hidden gems, I think. So there's one strand of the multi-aquamarine pebbles, $36. Marianne says, yes, it's Opa. Opa. Okay, one strand of this remains. These are the imitation. These are not actual old vintage antique Z beads, but these are modern interpretations, modern made Z agate beads, $16 a strand. Only this one strand in this beautiful carnelian red color. I'm going to hit that with a light so you can see better too. Look at the color on them. Let's see if I can do this without blinding everybody. If you can see through them. There you go. There they are. Look at that beautiful color. I like to show that way. I know, you're not going to get that reflected much in everyday life in that way, but it shows you the kind of color that's in them, I think, better. Like I said, trying not to blind everybody. But this is the modern Z agate beads, $16 for the strand. One of these strands left. And just a reminder again, if you're liking what we do and all the things we talk about and hanging out with us, please hit the share button because some of your friends might also like to hang out with us and share things with us and support us as well. Donna says, I love my Z beads. I have one of those strands and another darker one. Thank you. Yeah, these are the flowers. So they're little drawn flowers, that's what I'm going to call them. We've had different designs in these. This is the one that's left. Next up, one of my all-time favorite stones, tourmaline. These are tourmaline 7mm rounds. It's $26 for the strand. These need to be hit with a light so you can see how pretty they are. And I don't know if some of the tourmaline you can see through like those beautiful pinks and stuff, but it's better if I hit it in this side, and then you'll see how beautiful. Like, look at that. Look at that little blue, that little shade of blue happening right there. I want to get those fancy lights that make everything look like daylight. But those are lots of money a lot of times. But look at those, all different colors of beautiful tourmaline. There's 1 or 2 strands of these. There's that little indica light right there. Tourmaline 7mm rounds, $26 for the strand. I have 1 or maybe 2 strands of this remaining. That's it. I just love these. I love tourmaline, but when you really look, like they're red and green right here, red and green, and you got the bluish purple right there. Just so many. This bright, dark, mossy green right there. Oh, it's a beautiful strand. Make earrings out of those. Nice. Okay, what's next? How about we look at this? Libyan desert glass. Libyan desert glass, often very expensive. This is beautiful. That's hard to see because it's glass, right? Libyan desert glass, gorgeous stuff. This one happens to be $32. We have them in various sizes. This is one of the larger pieces. We have them, I think, ranging from about 20 some dollars to 40 or 50, 60 some dollars. Libyan desert glass. We get a lot of people in looking for this. We didn't have it for a long time. We just had a very few pieces, number of pieces, but we have a good bit of it now. So if you're looking for it, we've got it. Libyan desert glass. It's priced by the gram. That's the way we do it. That's the way it's sold to us, and that's the way we do it too. So this is $32. I don't know how many grams this is, but that's one of the bigger pieces, bigger chunks probably that we have. Next up, we have some vintage Czech glass. I love these strands so much, so much. Let me see if I can hit those with the light too. There they are. They're red and kind of yellow, kind of ambery and red. But I think these are so pretty, and I love it's one of those twisted kind of designs too. Again, I don't know what it is about me, but like these ones that we showed earlier, they have a little bit of a twist to them. I like this little twisted design. These ones are available. They're only $6 a strand. That's a good deal for vintage Czech glass. That was priced a while ago. Whenever we got them, which we got them for a good deal because these were before the pandemic. I'm sure if we bought them after the pandemic or during there's no after, right? During the pandemic, these would have been more money. But we were lucky enough to get them before. So there you go. We have those. Another fan favorite are the bag of chain. These are chain remnants, and you never know what you're going to get. But whenever we do crawl through warehouses like Andrew talks about, oftentimes these old stock warehouses have a lot of chain laying around, and sometimes it's just pieces of chain. And so we buy those up and we put them into bags, and sell them as chain remnants and bag o chain. This is $18 a bag. We do have some of these available in the online store too, but you can also request them here, and I'll pull them from the store floor. I just love them because you never know, like if you need a little extender or you want just a little bit of chain, you never know what you're going to get. They're kind of mystery bags to you. If you're looking for a particular thing, like a particular type of chain or color of chain, I can do my best to look for it for you, but I can't guarantee anything when you buy these bags, right? But you see there's some copper in here, some brass, there's some gold-plated stuff. Just beautiful, lots of chain. You never know when you need remnants of chain. 18 bucks, pretty good price, I think, for a full bag. That's a nice bag of chain. Anne says, that amber and red check glass always reminds me of those old candies that were wax Coke bottles. I was trying to think of what they reminded me of. I was thinking, I'm like, root beer bottles? That's not quite right. But yeah, that kind of makes sense. Those wax Coke bottles filled with some liquid. Probably no one else remembers those or would relate those to beads. It's totally, I get it. I get it. Donna says, Anne, I sure do. And yes, they do. Right? Amanda says, you can get those candies, Nick and Nickel Nips. Oh boy, I don't know. Is that what they are? I don't even remember. They were like in the little bodegas and stuff, usually the penny candy. Andrew says, smaller pieces of Tektites and Libyan desert glass are less expensive than larger pieces, not only because of weight, but because the pieces are harder to find. A lot of times things break up or just don't form into big pieces. Yeah, he's talking about these. Libyan desert glass, also called golden Tektites. I want to change all of these tags. I had our helper label these, and I had written golden Tektite and thought I had told them to put Libyan desert glass, because people don't know. When they see Libyan desert glass, they understand Libyan desert glass. This golden Tektite, people don't know it's the same thing sometimes. So that, I need to change that. Andrew, I love the original patina on these. You can add patina on metal, but there's something about naturally occurring patina developed over time in particular conditions. Oh, for the chain, yeah, right? All right, what's next? What do we have next? I'm going to move away from some strands again, and I'm going to move into this box of stuff. Let me move this, actually. These are electroformed gemstone pendants. This is, I don't even know what this is, honestly. I think it's some type of quartz. Maybe a citrine, actually. It's a yellow. Let's see if I can. Looks like a citrine to me. And this beautiful electroform stuff around. These are really lovely. We have this in tiger eye as well. One tiger eye, one citrine, and then I have a whole slew of quartz, clear quartz. And I think these are so cool, and I love them a lot. I might actually take one to add to my necklace when I switch out pendants and stuff. Oh, Andrew says it's an awesome resource also for the chain if you repair vintage jewelry. You never know. So these are $28 each. They're a little bit expensive. These were bought during the pandemic, so the prices had gone up already on these. Andrew said, those are my favorite, pools of light, right? Look at those. Look at those pools of light. So we have these $28 each. You have to think of these as finished pendants, and they are really, really nice. I like them a lot. If you like them too, let me know. You can pick them out if you took a screenshot of them, if you want a particular one or not. Next up, quartz pendants. Oh, excuse me. So these are quartz pendants. They have a little silver bell on them already that you can use. And you can see in these, they're drilled in. So they're secure. They are secure in there. And I have 3 of these available. They're $20 each. But if you know somebody who wants just a quartz pendant, these are really nice. This one's a little bit cloudier. Some people like that. These are a little bit more clear. I think this is the clearest. It kind of goes clearest, medium, and then a little bit cloudy. Cloudy and clear. The tips are clear. The nice thing about the cloudier one is you don't see the drill mark from the screw going in as much as you do on the other ones. But either way, $20 each if you're interested in those. I also have 2 other kinds of quartz pendants. Here's one. I like this one a lot. I love, I'm divided. Sometimes I love faceted stuff, and sometimes I love it just, tumbled and polished like that. And then we also have this one. So this is one of those electroformed ones too. If you like that, it's a point. Those are both $20 as well. Only one of each of those. We have this beautiful tiger eye pendant. This, I don't know why it's still here either. This has, down here you can see blue tiger eye. Then you see the regular yellow or brown tiger eye, whatever you call that one. Just a really beautiful tiger eye pendant. This is $20. And then we have the rose quartz hearts. These are $15 each. Little rose quartz. These are nice. These are nice. Rose quartz hearts. Then we have these triangular and drop pendants. So we have amethyst. I think this is, I want to say aventurine. I might be wrong. Quartz, rose quartz, and sodalite. And these are $15 each as well. They come with a silver veil. So those are $15 each. And then we have the mushrooms, probably one of my very favorites. I just love all of these in this case, this tray. So we have 3 rose quartz mushrooms and 1 amethyst mushroom. I love mushrooms. Andrew and I watch documentaries about mushrooms. Just really fun and really interesting things. Mushrooms are interesting things. So there we have little mushrooms too, if you want those. All right. And that's that tray of goodness right there. Oh, the other thing I wanted to show you that we have, and we have some of these in the online store as well, or I can grab some from the physical store for you. These are ammonite specimen pairs. So this is the ammonite specimen, right? That's what it looks like. You're like, what is that? And then you open them up and look at how beautiful. They are matched pairs. They are matched pairs. Andrew wants mushrooms for dinner. We have leftover Chinese food for dinner tonight. As long as you didn't eat your portion, I better have leftover Chinese food. Andrew stayed up all night, I think, last night, so I don't know what got eaten and what didn't. But look how beautiful these are on the inside. They're highly polished, and they are a matching set because they're cut right in half. So they look like that on the outside. Who would know? I mean, unless you really knew, how would you know there's something in there? And then you open it up, and they're super beautiful on the inside. We have a number of these already made pairs. These larger ones are $12. I think we have some smaller ones as well. These are also in the online store. If you search ammonite, they should come up for you. Now, these are not drilled for holes. There's no holes in these. So you would have to cage these in some way, or you could attempt to drill them on your own. I don't know if I would try that unless you're very experienced at it. But you could cage these with wire wrapping. they look beautiful that way. Make them into some caged earrings or use them as pendants. You don't have to use them together if you don't want to. But I just think these are spectacular. Like, we get a lot of ammonites, and we have a lot of ammonites in the store. But these ones blow my mind because they're so well done and so pretty. Like, look how highly polished those are. Just spectacular. They really probably should be more money, but $12 each. We got a good deal. So do you. Now, another thing I wanted to show you are these. This is electroplated lava. I have 2 longer strands in these colors. So these are $18 each. These are electroplated lava. Donna says, oops, these fossils always fascinate me. I have a larger one that was split and polished, and it's incredible. Yeah, they're really cool. I'm always amazed of what comes out of the ground. Andrew says, you better go to the grocery store. Our grocery budget is very small, Andrew. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. That's why I had leftovers for today. It's getting toward the end of the month. Mushrooms, crusty bread, and cooked in maybe some white wine and a hard shaved cheese and a sprinkling of herbs. Boy, he's getting wild. He's getting wild. All right, $18. $18. These are electroplated lava. We have 2 large strands left. These are the 2 full strands that we have. 1 in each color, gold and silver. Actually, I have 2 silvers. So there's 2 silvers if you want a larger strand. But if you don't want larger, we also have shorties. And the shorties we have in this color. I'm trying to do these by size, which is not easy because I don't have them. Oh, I do have them marked. This is 6mm. This is 6mm. Let's see. Do I have this in 6mm? There's 6mm. And there's 6mm. So we have the copper, the silver, the gold, and the gunmetal in 6mm in the electroplated lava. So if you want any of those, they're $8.50 a strand. Amanda says, Andrew ate all the Chinese leftovers. Sounds like it. Sounds like he did. I was looking forward to it, so hopefully he didn't eat all the leftovers. So those are in 6mm. And then I have every color also in, this looks to be 4mm. 4mm. In the silver, gold, gunmetal, and copper for $7.50 for this. So these were $8.50. These are $7.50. And then I have 8mm for $9, and I have those in 5 colors. There's a bright gold, and then there's more of a coppery gold. I think you can see. Can you see the difference? There's a lighter gold, and then the bright gold, and then you have the silver, the copper, and the gunmetal. And those are $9 a strand for the 8mm size. So 8mm, 6mm, 4mm goes from $9 to $8.50 to $7.50. Andrew says, don't worry about it. Don't worry about getting the mushrooms, or don't worry about that I have to get the mushrooms because you ate them all. I never know how to take that. There we go. If I need to go to the grocery store, I need to know too. There we go. 8.6 4mm. All right, put these back. trying to put these back in order. Sorry, everybody. It's taking a little bit longer. All right. We're almost done, everybody. Almost done. Just a few strands remaining. And then we're going to call it a night. Just a few strands remaining, and then we're going to call it a night. Okay. Next strand. Ametrine. Grade AAA. AAA grade ametrine. 12 millimeter rounds. Look at these. One strand left. I think I showed these a lot. So now we're down to one strand. Beautiful ametrine. That's amethyst and citrine together. So sometimes in the yellow you'll see a little purple. Sometimes in the purple you'll see a little yellow. Many of these are cut pretty singularly. So it's a mix of amethyst and citrine. But most of these, because of their higher grade, are pretty nice and clear as one or the other. Try not to blind you, but look at how beautiful those are. And this strand is $50, 50. That's a great price for AAA grade. AAA grade. One strand left, 12 millimeter AAA ametrine. And I don't know if you're seeing, I hope you're seeing the clarity in some of these, in most of these, especially the citrine ones, and some of these amethyst. I should say more amethyst and more citrine. All right, one strand of those available. AAA grade ametrine, $50. Next up, we have Eagle Eye. Eagle Eye rounds, 12 millimeters. I don't know why people don't like these more than they do. But look at how pretty these are. Like, I don't know if you can see. Trying to, boy, if I could position this light right, I'd be dangerous. But the color and the patterning in each of these, like, you know, sometimes it's best to look at the whole strand as one thing, right? And sometimes you get pulled in looking at the individual beads. And this Eagle Eye is definitely where you look at the individual beads, because each one of these is their own little miracle. They're so pretty. And they got such nice, you can see that flash on those. A lot of them have that nice flash to it. Good night, Donna. Thank you so much for joining us. So these are beautiful, and they are only $25. $25. This is 12 millimeter Eagle Eye. I have other sizes too that's just as pretty. I just pulled these ones because I knew they'd be easier to see on camera. But we do have other Eagle Eye in different sizes. I think these might still be available in the online store too. We have some there. That's one of the ones that we split up. I have a few in store and a few online, but I just love them. I love grays because they're such a good neutral for other colors. Like, you can pair gray with some blue. I mean, that's gorgeous. Pair it with some red. That's gorgeous. Pair it with some purple. That's amazing, right? There's just, like, what doesn't go well with it? Almost nothing. So many different colors you can use with it. It looks great. So it's a great neutral to work with. And for those who like neutral colors, it's good on its own. You don't have to pair it with anything. All right, next up, next to last, we have Pre-Night faceted barrels. These are 7 millimeter approximately, $24 a strand. Last strand of these remaining. Beautiful, beautiful Pre-Night. And these have some really nice, those black streaks. I always forget the stone that is. But what is it? It's going to come to me. It's not tourmaline. Somebody help me. I'm sure someone will. But these have nice quantities of it in the stones. Sometimes you don't get as much of that black in there. And, you know, I like when you can see it. So each one of these has some really nice shards of that in there. Epidote, that's it. Epidote, it just came to me. I think that's the right word. I think that's the right one. These are $24 for the faceted barrels. They're kind of like lanterns / barrels. We call them barrels just because that's, you know, one of those two probably. Maybe they're more lanterny. But look at that. And the facets on there give it that nice, really nice reflection and shine. Like they glimmer. You know, pre-night, you see it glimmer very often? I don't. So that's a nice cut. Very nice cut. $24, last strand available. And the last strand I'm going to do tonight is this turquoise. This is vintage turquoise. It is chunky monkey. It's not too big. It's not too big, but it is beautiful. And I know turquoise grows with copper, so I don't know if these are like coppery flecks in here sometimes, but there's like these beautiful metallic flecks in here that you'll see. You just don't see that. Like, I don't see that in modern turquoise. And here it is in this beautiful. These are turquoise nuggets. These are stabilized, but not dyed. These are not dyed, but they are stabilized, which is what you want. There's some of that. I don't know if it's pyrite. It's beautiful, whatever it is. There's some of that metal right there. On the edge, you can see it better. I don't know if you can see it with our cameras or not, but stabilized turquoise, non-dyed, beautiful, lovely pieces. We call this is Hubei turquoise, old stock, stabilized, $86 for the strand. $86 for the strand. We have a number of strands of these left. Not too many. I think there are like 4 left. So if you want this old stock stuff, get it. Because this is good quality for the price. That's the nice thing about sometimes these vintage suppliers and vintage people, and when we dig through stuff, sometimes you find stuff and they're willing to part with it for cheap because it didn't cost them much, or they forgot how much it cost them. So this is good quality, very nice quality for the price that you're going to pay nowadays. If you'd pay $86 now for some turquoise, it would not probably be this nice unless it's vintage. All right, so there you go. Hubei turquoise, $86 for the strand. Probably around 4 strands available. If you want more than one, let me know. Okay. All right. Let me flip this camera around. Oh. Howdy. Hello again. So, this was a pretty long video, but I think we split it pretty good. Half and half talk, half show. If you saw anything you liked today, please send us an email. It will really help us out right now. If there's anything in our online store you like, please buy it if you can. That'll really help us out too. The end of the year is always hard. It just is. And the beginning of the next year is even harder until we start to get into April, March, April-ish. So we're here. If you need something, if you're looking for supplies, if you know there's anything that we can help you with, please send us an email. Andrew is going to Tucson, so if there's anything that you're specifically looking for, now is the time to send us your email list of requests. And that way he can look for stuff while he's there. If he has a list and he knows what he's looking for. If you try and hit him up while he's there, that's harder. So send us your list early. We do private shopping all the time for people. well, not all the time, but when we go to shows, we always take our list if we have any requests. So send us an email at info@allegorygallery.com. Oops. info@allegorygallery.com. Let me put that up here. If you would like to request anything and we can search for it in Tucson, it does help that when you send your requests, that you send us your the amount that you'd like to spend. And please be realistic. And realistic for this day and age now, this pandemic world. But we can oftentimes get pretty good prices out there. And if we know what we're looking for, it's much easier. All right. So thank you again for tuning in. Send us those emails if you'd like to request any of this, and send us those online orders if you see anything in the online store you'd like. And I will have, we're going to be working on getting these pendants and the rainbow kitties and rainbow mushrooms and rainbow owls into the online store as well. We showed those in a few videos past. You can catch up with those if you'd like. If you missed any of our videos, you can see them on YouTube and Facebook as a replay. All right. Thank you so very much, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye now.